This is the Restaurant Technology Guys podcast, helping you run your restaurant better.
Welcome back to the Restaurant Technology Guys podcast. We thank our audience out there for joining us. As I say each and every time, we know that you guys have got lots of choices on how you spend your time out in the internet world, and so we appreciate you guys spending time with us. Today is one of my favorite types of episodes because we get to talk with a co-founder of a hot brand. And so I'm going to let Adenah introduce herself first, and then we'll talk a little bit about what she gets to do in this phase of her career, because she's had lots of success in her career in the past. So I'm excited to dig into her history, and then we can jump into what she's doing with Cornbread. Adenah, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience? Tell everybody a little bit about you, your history, your background, and those kind of things.
Okay, thanks for having me. My name is Adenah Bayo. I'm co-founder, CEO of this hot concept called Cornbread Farm to Soul. And we're literally a hot concept. We just got named by Restaurant News as one of the best hot concept of 2023. So I'm excited to be here, share what we're doing, and, see how we can talk a little bit of restaurant tech.
I love it. I love it. Well, why don't you give our audience a little bit of background? So this isn't your first restaurant venture. You've been doing restaurants for 1 or 2 years, right? You're only like 23, just out of college, 1 or 2 years you've been doing restaurants. So, but why don't you give everybody a little bit of a background before we dig too deep into Cornbread Farm to Soul?
Yeah, I started when I was like 5 years old, and I've been in the restaurant space for 17 years. I started as a IHOP franchisee. I went on to co-found Cornbread Farm to Soul and another concept called Brick City Vegan. And so, yeah, I've been doing this since I was 5. So,
yeah, I would say at 22, 17 years, it makes sense. That all of the math is making sense.
Yes.
So, perfect. Well, for those that haven't experienced Cornbread Farm to Soul, why don't you talk a little bit about what is it? What is the concept? For those that haven't gotten the privilege to experience it, and even if they've read the article that NRN put out, oftentimes it's not the same until you get to there. So what kind of food is it? What give me a little bit about what the experience looks like.
So we are the hottest soul food concept. We were voted the best fried chicken in New York City 2022. We have the best cornbread in the market. We have the best collard greens. We have the best yam, the best mac and cheese. We are a soul food concept that is a fast casual concept. We don't have tablecloth. The best way to describe us is a Chipotle, but we're serving you soul food. And we are just really are very driven by our ingredients, our community, and the people that work for us, right? So when I think of soul food, the best way I can describe it is we are changing the landscape around food. Food is the vehicle in which allow us to build communities and employ people. So for me, I always say food is a byproduct, but we are people-based, community-based, and we're just really getting people in the door to support our cause of hiring people and paying them well.
I love it. I love it. For those, you talked about some of the ingredients and some of the product, but for those that are less familiar with soul food, because it's not Chipotle, it's not Mexican food, it's not Italian food, where you've got these large swaths, and, soul food to different people in different places is often even misconstrued. So talk to me, the origin, where does soul food come from with you and your co-founder? Where's the origin of that? And then let's talk a little bit about the food and why you guys chose to go down that route.
So my co-founder, Elzady Smith, is from Tifton, Georgia. And she is an amazing human being. She actually worked with Dr. Martin Luther King in the South. And when you think about soul food and you think about all of the other cuisine that you literally just named, soul food is the only thing America is responsible for.
Yeah.
America is not responsible for Mexican, Italian, Chinese, none of that. Mm-hmm. America is responsible for soul food. And when you think of soul food, think of, most people think of the South in the terms of, yes, it was really food that I want to say food my ancestor fed their soul with. Full of a journey of, the journey of people through food. When I think of soul food, I think of the journey of African American people in this country, but through soul food. So we went through that journey with my co-founder, understanding what that journey was like for our ancestors on farms, on plantations, making the best of what they had to creating really, really wholesome, tasty food. So really, when I think of soul food, I look at soul food as the journey of African American people, but through food.
That's a great explanation. I years ago I did business with a group that had opened up a soul food restaurant in Los Angeles, and it was kind of that same concept of let's get back to the roots of where we were at. And the part that I do find interesting is you guys have got a couple of stores, but they're not, I guess, where you would traditionally find soul food. And so talk to me a little bit about that journey, because it sounds like it's something that you're probably, I don't know, maybe I'm taking a leap here, but you've got to educate people, not just this audience that's on the, listening to our show here, but the people that aren't as familiar with soul food in, the tri-state area of, New York, New Jersey, and such. So talk to me a little bit about that journey and how that's been.
So really, when we opened a concept, we wanted to, obviously, the concept is young, is hip, is really, it's a beautiful place in a very casual environment. And we wanted to make food for everyone, soul food for everybody, right? So we are in, our first store was in Maplewood, New Jersey. It's a very suburban town. And when we opened, the diversity of people that came in that door was amazing. We were in a predominantly white community, and people came from everywhere. We had lines out the door. But it was the thing that was so amazing about that was people came for the good food we are selling, right? And I think that have no bounds. That have no ethnicity. When your food is good, it allows you to bring so many people along your journey, right? So when that store first opened, it opened to a really amazing reception, because the food that my co-founder, who is responsible for all of the recipe, had crafted was some really mouth-watering things that would just knock your socks off when you put them on your tongue. So I think the success was doing soul food in a way it hasn't been done. But I also think a lot of it have to do with our food, how amazing it is.
Yeah, as I've been doing, I didn't do as much research about you and your co-founder, but I did do some research about the food, and it definitely is mouth-watering. And you guys have done a good job of making it. One of our customers talks about the craveability factor, and it feels like a lot of what it is that you guys do hits straight to that communal aspect of food. Because I know, again, we talk about it often on the show. It's like food is used as a means to gather. Food is used as a mean, there's very few gatherings that don't have some food and some beverage. And so now go back to that. You talked a little bit about your guys' passion for people. Talk to me a little bit more about the passion for people, and why such a passion for people, and why are you, I love that you guys are using food and restaurants to employ people and try and get people into a better place. But where does that come from?
I think for me, it comes from my journey as someone that have had to overcome a lot of adversity in my life. I've had to deal with personal trauma. I've had to deal with escaping a civil war. I've had to, growing up in property. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Growing up in poverty, I've had to deal with being dyslexia. I had to deal with, coming to this country at 13, but being put in the 7th grade, graduating the top 7 of my class. I think for me, I've always benefited from the generosity of other people. I think the generosity of other people have played a great impact in my life. So when I think about how I want to spend the rest of my life and the journey that I want to take on, I want to be very generous to people. I want to be generous with my experience. I want to be generous with my time. And I also want to be equitable to people. I want people that work in my stores to know that they are being paid well, right? So for me, that focus on people come from my journey of not being here today, but for the generosity of other people and understanding that when life gets hard, that humanity steps in, humanity chips in. And I want to pay that forward. And I want my team to be part of something that we're all growing together. You know, I want my team to know that if Cornbread is successful, that they had a hand to play in that. So that is where that focus, like all three of my store right now are ran by women. About 80% of leadership position in my company is held by women. And that is very intentional. I want to create a concept that recognizes the strength in women and know that women, when given the opportunity, can outperform male. So that focus on the human factor sort of come from my experience.
Well, it's no wonder with that in mind that you guys have been successful. You've got fantastic food. You guys have a focus on the people, which at the end of the day creates a great guest experience. You've got great food. You've got great ambiance and environment based on the people owning it and caring for it. You and I talked a little bit, Adenah, about kind of what it is that you guys did to set out to make the dining experience, I don't say unique, but different than what most 2 to 3 unit operators would do from a tech side. It is, after all, the Restaurant Technology Guys podcast. So talk to me a little bit about what the technology experience might look like from a brand that, you know, again, only has 3 stores today. I'm sure by the time that this goes live, you guys will be well into your, well into planning stages for opening a lot more. But talk to me a little bit about what the experience looks like for guests when they come in from a tech perspective. How do they engage with the brand, both in store, and then we can talk a little bit about outside of the 4 walls.
So we've always been technology focused. I said we're in a tech age, and you have to be engaged with technology if you're going to grow in a meaningful way. So for starter, we're 3 stores, but we work with a concept called Locate AI that locate our locations for us. They know our data, they know our customers, and they go out and they scout locations for us. And they'll let me know, Adenah, based on the experience of Maplewood and the success of Maplewood, if you want to duplicate that, we find a neighborhood that fit that demographic, that fit that that fits what Maplewood is doing. And that's how we select our sites. And, we have self-ordering kiosks. We have people that come in that don't want to use a cashier to place their order. You can go to our self-ordering kiosks. We have an app. You can go on our app. You can order. You can place your order, pick it up for delivery. And we also have a partnership with Uber where we have them as our exclusive third-party delivery service. So we have been at this technology thing from a very long time. We don't make no decision internally unless we run the numbers. We don't take locations unless we run them through our locator platform. Our POS is Toast, and we dive into the data. We dive into what is the guest saying about this new product. Is it moving? Is it selling? And what we find is that when you pay attention to the data, you can make decisions that are well-informed, even if, because sometimes I think you think, oh, that just makes sense. Even if it doesn't make sense, the number and the data sometimes supports those decisions.
Yeah. And so you talked about your location selection software that you guys are using, and I know that that's become more and more commonplace with restaurants. To help me understand what it is that, because you guys are at 3 now, I'm assuming you guys have a desire to grow. Part of what you guys are looking to do, and so we'll talk about where your guys' growth trajectories are here in just a few minutes. But what pieces of data are you guys looking at? Is it demographic? Is it psychographic? Is it, when you guys are picking locations, is it median income? Is it how close to a school, how far away from a school it is? Talk to me a little bit about that, because I think it's an interesting play. And I think all too often, I've talked with lots of restaurateurs on the show, and just in the walks of what I get to do for a living, they pick the wrong location, and that location ends up burying them because they get stuck in a 5-year lease, and now they're stuck in a 5-year lease and they can't get out of it. And that money that you're making in the other stores is now going to this location that's unsuccessful. So what pieces of data are you guys looking for in order to not just say, oh, this is a really pretty building and it looks like it'd be a fun place to go open up a new restaurant? The data, as you talked about, it is critical to making those decisions. Can you share a little bit more insight as to what you guys do with that? Thank you.
Can I tell you literally how the example that you just give is so on point, and we have had to learn by a great deal by making a decision and not relying on technology, but going off what we perceive was a good decision. So I'll share a quick story with you.
Yeah, I'd love to.
After we built our first store, it was amazing. We had the stores have done well. So we got into a partnership with Walmart. And Walmart gave us a really great opportunity. They said, you guys can go into our Walmart stores. You guys can, replace some McDonald's, some Subway, and go in there. We just thought, oh, great. This is an amazing opportunity. Let's do it. We didn't run no data to say what Walmart location we should be in. We just sort of say, oh, let's go by the highest grossing Walmart. There's a Walmart in Pittsburgh that's doing X million. That must be the Walmart to be in. We built 3 of our stores inside these Walmarts, and it was a mistake. Our customers weren't there. We were in the wrong place. And right as we opened them, the pandemic also hit. We closed down the stores. But had we at the time had our platform now, we would not have made those decisions without first running those addresses on the platform to see, is our demographic there? Is our, is the customers that we're going after, so socially, are they there? Yep. We would have definitely had the data to make a more informed decision. We did not. And that cost us a great deal of money. That cost us millions of dollars and human time that we can never get back. But it's all part of the journey of learning when you go into these opportunities. Don't be so excited of the opportunity, but take a step back and say, this is a great opportunity, but is it the right opportunity for me at this time?
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to a restaurant owner just last week about that same idea. Is he was so excited. It was opening his first restaurant. It happened to be a franchise group, and he happens to be a friend of mine. And I ironically, I had said to him before he went into the franchise group, I said to him, I've been in the restaurant business for 25 years. I'll give you free consulting. Let me help you. And he's like, no, I got it figured out. They told me that this would be the right place. And our kids happen to go to school together. And I said, oh, hey, how's it going? Knowing that the store is not doing well, because I drive by it. I'm in the community and I see it. And it's nothing against this guy as much as it was the idea that says he had some vision that it was going to just hit. And the truth is based on his product and based on the demographics around there, the median income was there, but the product didn't fit that need that says people are going to go to this place 2 times a week, which is really what he needed them to go to. It's not a sandwich shop. It happens to be a poke place. And poke, while it's fantastic, there is a lot of people that won't eat poke more than once, maybe a month, or, you know, twice a month kind of thing. And so with that, you know, I guess your thought on kind of understanding the demographics, understanding who you guys are, understanding who you guys serve.
The psychodemographic is so important. The psychodemographic, yes. You want sometimes go off your guts, but you gotta pay attention to those numbers. And the data is out there that's going to help you make a more informed decision.
Yeah. Well, and it's amazing how few people actually use those tools. And so I love that you talk about that as even one of your first pieces of tech, which is understanding that it's going to be successful, because not only the millions of dollars that you guys lost, I can imagine it was an extreme distraction trying to figure out, what are we doing here? Why is it not working?
Right.
And it takes away from the passion that you have for the people that are already there making the brand work in the original couple of stores.
That's right.
So now you're stuck, you know, investing time, money, and energy into something that isn't working, and it's taking away because you only have the same amount of hours in the day that everybody does to invest in those stores.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So you talked about experiencing the brand. You know, you talked about it early on, walking in, and, you know, ordering at a counter. You also talked about the fact that you guys put in self-service kiosk. Talk to me a little bit about that journey, because some will say, and I know the answer to this based on your passion for the people, oh, you're just putting in kiosks to eliminate jobs. Oh, you're just putting in online ordering to eliminate jobs. Talk to me about how you guys balance that, because at the end of the day, you guys are passionate about helping people to fulfill what it is that they need to do, giving them well-paying jobs. And at the same time, you guys have chosen to have tech to help augment the guest experience in a positive way for what the guests are looking for. So talk to me a little bit about how you guys have been balancing those two. What some people will say is antithetical, I think it's actually an enhancement to the experience that the staff members have. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, if you wouldn't mind.
I think it's both. I think, you know, as much as we want to say we want to support someone being a cashier, there are customers, our data told us, that much rather have a tech experience. They prefer to be at that kiosk, place their order, and wait. And we can't ram our views and thoughts down people's throat. I have to be respectful of that.
Yeah.
There is no doubt in my mind that going in a store and have an option of, I can either order with a cashier or I can order on a self-ordering kiosk, give you an added advantage over any brand that's only doing it one way or the other. So for us, we chose both. We are accommodating to those folks that want to have the human experience, but we're also accommodating and respectful to those people that just want to come and order and pick up and go. Right? We're also respectful to those people that just want to be in their pajamas and they come to their door and they continue to binge watch on Game of Thrones or, you know, that Beyonce, you know. So for me, I'm going to meet you wherever you're at. Right? Yeah. And my job is to make sure that experience is a good one. Right? Yeah. I always say to my team, when a guest comes to our restaurant, when something happened for them, we have won. When something happened to them, we have lost. So I drill in their mind to be very mindful when something is happening for our guests versus when something is happening to our guests.
That's such an amazing paradigm. I love that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to end up stealing that. I hope you don't mind. I'll use that. I'll use that with our own team.
Yeah.
Adenah, you talked about your exclusive relationship with Uber. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about where and why that was something you guys chose to do as a business, because some just go all out and they go DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, you know, and others like you guys have picked one platform and said, you know what, we're going to invest our time and energy into the one platform that we think is best for us. Talk to me a little bit about that decision making and how and why you guys went down that route.
So I think for me, I'm a very simple. Like, simplicity have always been the key to my success, being simple and organized. In the restaurant space, we as restaurant owners are now being inundated as vendor managers. You
had to say about, you know, being a vendor manager versus being a restaurant. And so I think all too often restaurateurs will try and get everything done all at the same time. And I think all too often they lose focus on the food and the customer and their employees, and they want to become tech entrepreneurs. They want to be, they want to be marketing people. And it's like, focus on what it is that you guys do. And so I love your thought that says, let's focus on, building a deep level relationship with one provider and doing it well. And you know what? The other ones, we can live without it. So talk to me a little bit about kind of the how and the why behind going Uber Eats and what that meant to your guys' business from a simplicity perspective.
I just wanted to make the process very simple for my team. I wanted to make sure that we were delivering great service, even when it was a third-party delivery service, right? I wanted to make that process seamless for our guests and also very seamless for my internal customers, who is the people that work for me.
Yeah.
And I just find that having all these third-party delivery apps in the stores was creating chaos.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get out of the vendor management experience and manage my team and make sure that we were doing it in the right way, in whatever platform we decided on. And we did our research. We found out, Uber was the third party that had most of our customers. So we let the data and the customer led that decision to go with Uber. It wasn't they had anything. It just our customer were using their platform at a higher rate than anyone on any other platform. So again, I want to focus on what I'm good at, and that's managing my staff and managing the stores and building hot concepts, right? So I'm not doing that when I'm spending the time working on that person app to figure it out. That's not the best use of my time.
I love that simplicity. And again, we joke with some of our customers. It's like, you sell hamburgers, we do technology. You should let us do technology while you do hamburgers.
Yes.
So with that, I like to ask this question because oftentimes there's a challenge with both third-party delivery and just takeout in general based on the type of products that you sell. You guys, looking at your menu, you guys have some fried foods. How have you guys managed food quality outside of the four walls when it comes to, the food being hot and, nobody likes soggy, fried catfish, right? Nobody likes soggy fried chicken. They like it crispy. They like it hot. They like it. And so how have you guys managed that and a guest experience perspective as it relates to whether it be third-party delivery or even, people coming in for takeout?
I think I have an obsessive personality. So I have literally spent obscene amount of time trying to focus on how long do my fried catfish sit there before it gets soggy. So I've literally done the test in store. First of all, our catfish have this crispy batter with this tender, juicy inside that that first bite, I want you to, that crunch. So my co-founder is also very obsessed with the upkeep of the quality of the food. So she and I got on this journey where we did the catfish, we let it sit and see how many hours before you lose that crunch, right? We find that our catfish, without anything, can sit there 6 hours, 4 hours, and you can still get that crunch. And we've had to play with so many different batters. We've had to play with so many fryers. We've had to, we want to make sure we're not selling you greasy and oily food either. So it's been a journey of tests. It's been a journey of let's make sure we're obsessed about the quality of our food. How does it make it to your doorsteps?
I think, again, similar to the conversation we had about people and focusing on ensuring that you've got that guest experience is huge. You alluded to it earlier, Adenah. Talk to me about growth. You guys have the 3 stores today. You guys did expand, pandemic hit, talked a little bit about the Walmart thing. Talk to me a little bit about what's your guys' trajectory. You guys just got named, this hot concept, and I love that you guys are getting soul food for the masses, for lack of a better term. You know, you guys are getting it out there, and it's becoming more and more. I mean, it's always been relevant, but now we've got people that are going to be able to experience it where they wouldn't have been able to otherwise. But where besides the sky is the limit, and you guys are going to have 500 stores, and you guys are going to compete with Chipotle and Subway across the country. Where are you guys at on the growth trajectory, and what do you see for the next, 1, 3, and 5 years for your guys' brand?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jeremy. My goal right now is to get us to 20 store in the next 5 years, $50 million in revenue. Right? That is my That's your obsession now? That is where the brand is going. And we want to grow in the New York market. We have a store in Brooklyn right now that's killing it. We think we could put another 3 or 4 stores in Brooklyn next year. So if anyone listening, you have this amazing location, hit me up on IG, Adenah Bio, or hit me up on Cornbread Soul. And I want to really infiltrate that Brooklyn market and do Queens, do Harlem. Like, I want the strategy to be New York focused, right? Then once we kill it in New York, then we can say, okay, let's go to Philly. Let's do DC. Let's go to Virginia, that sort of things. But right now, the focus is really in our backyard where we know we're killing it, so we're not wasting our marketing dollars throughout different markets where we have this very insulated growth plan that allows us to grow, where we are capitalizing on our staff, capitalizing the marketing dollars, supply chain, all of those things come into play.
I love it. And I'm going to make an assumption here, but you guys are currently all owned and operated by you and your co-founder, or are you guys getting to the franchise market?
We're owned and operated right now. And, I have a franchise background, been a franchisee for about 17 years. So
yeah, starting when you were 2 or 3, right? Starting when you were 5, the franchise business. I got it.
Of course.
We got to go back to that.
And that's the plan right now, is to grow the brand, grow the brand in a very intentional way.
I love it. I love it. What did we miss today? What is there anything that we missed in our conversation that you want everybody to know about Cornbread Farm to Soul?
I think the only thing that I sort of want to put out there is that to whoever's listening is support us, support Cornbread, support women-owned businesses, because when we're giving resources, when we're giving opportunity, it's not just a space where it's about us, at least not a Cornbread. I want you guys to know the mindset here is to grow. And as we grow, and to grow our people with us, right? As Cornbread grow, I want people to grow with us. So whenever you can, if you're in our neighborhood, if you're in Brooklyn, we're on Eastern Parkway in Bedford. If you're in New Jersey, we're in Maplewood, we're in Newark, and we're opening in Montclair in 3 weeks. So I want you to support us. We are on third party. We do catering. Do support us, because the only way this happens is through you and your support.
I can't wait to try it next time I'm on that coast. I'm not gonna lie, checking out the pictures online, I'm like, ooh, that looks really good. So
you're gonna let me know when you're on the coast so we can have it together?
I would love to. I'd love to. And New York City is one of my favorite places in the world. So I find my way there on accident from time to time. My wife's like, why do you have to go back again? I'm like, I make up excuses to come into the city. So yeah. I love it. I love it. How can they learn more? How can they get the same craveability that I've been getting while I've been checking out the food online? Where can they find you? Where can they find the brand? Direct them on the web, and I'll put it in the show notes once we get done.
Come to our stores. Experience us in live person. Experience what this cornbread is all about. And if nothing else, I'll leave your audience with this. I will leave them with this journey that we're on, that you're on. It's a journey of self-discovery. And if the universe have put in your mind that this is where you need to be, go for it. Because if I'm sitting here, someone that escaped civil war, someone that have experienced personal trauma, someone that was dyslexia, someone that did not know anything about this system, and I'm sitting here today on this show, you also have it in you. So I want to inspire everyone to live their inner dreams of anything they want to do. So I'm grateful to be here and share this hour with you and your audience, and just I'm in a happy place when I'm talking about food.
I like I say often, I can't wait to check it out. And Adenah, thank you very much for sharing your story. Tell your co-founder thank you for doing what you guys are doing, because it's an amazing story of triumph over a lot of difficult circumstances, and at the same time, you guys are truly making a difference in the world. And so to that, I say thank you. To our audience, guys, we know that you guys have got lots of choices. As I said on the onset, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so on either your favorite podcast player or on YouTube. Adenah, thank you so much. And to our audience, make it a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Restaurant Technology Guys podcast. Visit restauranttechnologyguys.com for tips, industry insights, and more to help you run your restaurant better.